let me see if I can figure my screen out here.
So I started the recording just so everyone knows.
All right, I'll try to be more official then. Good morning, everyone, and I'm so thrilled to see you all here, and welcome to the October meeting of the El Cerrito Garden Club. We are very happy to have you, and I'm expecting that maybe a few more will join since we're starting almost right on time, which is unusual. And we have a pretty light agenda today. I want to make some presidential remarks, then we'll hear from some committees and show some pictures of some flower arrangements that you've nicely sent in. And then we'll have our fantastic presentation of the Sundar Shadi, or we might change the order of that a little bit. We'll see how that goes. First, just a couple of remarks about Zoom. And Robin, please chime in if I forget to say something that you think is important. For those people that don't use Zoom regularly, there's a mute. There's a little microphone, and it would be good if everybody made sure that they were muted until it was time for them to say something. And if you want to say something, you can raise your hand physically like this and wave, or you can find the raise hand icon on Zoom and click that, and Robin will be looking and will see that you have something that you want to say. Something you might want to do is click on the little icon usually at the bottom of your screen that says participants. Right now it says participants 30, and those are the people that are here today. And if you click on that, you'll just see a list of their names. And so that's helpful if you're not seeing everybody's pictures. And if you do want to see more people's pictures and right now are only seeing me, then look for the little white checkerboard, little tiny white checkerboard looking thing, which is the gallery view, which will show you several pictures at the same time. And most of you should have the ability to go to gallery view if you want to. What else am I trying to say? Oh, also at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there's a little note that says chat, and that's where you can click on that and you can send a note to everybody who's in the group, or you can choose one person in the participants list if you have a private comment you want to make. And that's just like a little tiny email that goes right into the chat box. So that's something that you could use if you want. Yes, I think, Robin, anything else I should say about Zoom? I think that
seems good.
I think that's good, and I think most of us have been on it maybe several times in the last several months. So we're getting pretty good at it. Okay, so let me, sorry, my phone, of course. Oh, yes, sorry. All right, 1 second, because this is actually a garden club member calling me, sorry. Hi, Molly, we're in the middle of a meeting. Yes, I did. Yeah, I'll try to send it again. Okay, I'm in the middle of talking. Okay, bye. Okay. Robin, are you able to send the meeting link to Molly Ong?
Sure.
Do you have
I can do that, yeah.
Okay, that'd be super, thank you so much. Oh, I love having an assistant, a co-host. Okay, so just some brief presidential remarks. I'll try to stay brief. Some of us attended online the Bay Bridges district meeting, which is one of the umbrella groups that the El Cerrito Garden Club is under. And that meeting happens twice a year. And at that meeting, the presidents of the 12 or so local garden clubs make reports of what their clubs have been doing for the last 6 months. And so it was very interesting to hear what some of the other garden clubs are doing. Just like us, they've tried to do outreach. They had phone trees like we did, where we tried to call all our members. and I hope everybody here got a phone call or made phone calls, many of you. Many of them have had some kind of plant sale, not quite as fabulous as ours, but they've had some online plant sale or by appointment plant sale or curbside like we did. So that was great. Many of those clubs have civic projects that they're working on, like a median strip in their city or in front of some public building. And quite a few of them are having work parties, you know, safe distance, to work on those projects. And something I want to have everybody keep in mind is that El Cerrito hasn't had that kind of a civic project for a while, and we could think of one, and I think that would be great if we did. But it's been impressive to see how other clubs are staying active and thinking of ways to stay connected. And along those lines, I think all of you know that we're sort of the bottom layer of several umbrella organizations. There's the Bay Bridges is the local garden clubs that we're a member of. And then there's California Garden Clubs, we're a member of that. And then there's the Western Region Garden Clubs, which is all of the Western states, including Alaska and Hawaii. We're part of that Pacific region. And then there's the National Garden Clubs. So all of those different groups have newsletters and are putting out information about ideas and things that clubs around the country are doing. So all of those are interesting websites and all send out newsletters. So if anybody's interested in that, you should Google them, or maybe we'll put it in a newsletter again so everybody can get on board with the rest of the country and their garden clubs. Also impressive at the Bay Bridges meeting was the awards that were given out, and all of those organizations, those different organizations, give awards and grants every year, and many of them are unclaimed because we don't right now have an awards committee who just is applying for things. And in the past, Anna and Barbara and quite a few other people here have worked hard at getting awards for members of the club or for the whole club. And some of them are monetary and some of them are just honorary, but it's still wonderful. So we should think of having an awards committee, and anyone interested in that should get their volunteer spirit up and let me know. The city council meeting for El Cerrito was on Tuesday night, and I did show a short video of the Sundar Shadi Gardens and made a little presentation. It was nothing like what the wonderful presentation we're going to have today from Roberta. It was very short, but the city council was appreciative, and the mayor commented, thank you, Robin. The mayor commented that he has walked by, I guess he lives in the neighborhood of some of the gardens, and he has walked by and seen the signs in the front yard and was really impressed. And another council member mentioned that he loves the contest and always goes and looks at the gardens. So that was a nice civic appreciation of the club, I think. I also just wanted to announce that the little video that I made got posted to the California Garden Club's Facebook page by them. And so those of you who are on Facebook and go to the California Garden Clubs will see Mark and Monica's gardens without addresses or names, but it just shows that those are our winning gardens. So I was quite impressed that that happened. What else? Okay, just a couple more remarks. The new yearbooks have come out. They're quite beautiful. Thank you so much to Bonnie Smith. I'm not sure if she's here yet this morning, but she did a great job putting them together. There are some typos and corrections, and so when you get your yearbook, there will be a little page of corrections inside, and you should go through and fix everybody's emails and things that are slightly wrong. But we're delivering most of them by hand. So thanks very much to the people that are helping me with that. Lisa, Kate, Marianne delivered a bunch, Sarah. I really appreciate that help. And we've delivered more than half, so we're doing pretty well. And the people that live far away, we've mailed yours, and they were put in the mail yesterday or the day before. So I hope they'll arrive pretty soon. Oh, if you see anything in the yearbook that needs to be corrected, please notify us, and we'll have a little column in the newsletter that says add these to your yearbook, including new members, of course, that didn't get included. So those are my remarks, and let's move on to Dorothy, the treasurer's report. And Dorothy, would you like to say about Betty's brick and whatever else you need to say? Are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the treasurer's report, which was attached to the email from Robin, says that the closing balance of the general fund was $13,307.28. Anyone have any corrections? Okay, so you want to hold a vote, Martha, to accept?
Oh, yes. So does everyone agree to accept the minutes or the treasurer's report as reported? Raise your hand. Yeah, good. Anonymous or unanimous. Good job. Okay. Okay. And Dorothy, would you like to say about Betty's brick?
Yeah, I would like to show what we received from the botanical garden. So let's see if we get it to work.
Okay, while you're setting that up, may I just make a sentence about what it says and everything? So I think most of you know that we raised money to have a memorial brick for our friend Betty Coates, who died. And that brick is going to be at the UC Botanical Garden. And it's going to say Betty Coates, El Cerrito Garden Club, and 1 in a million is what we decided to say on it.
Martha, can you see it now?
Yes, Dorothy.
Amazing.
Yeah, so this is a note that Dorothy got from Lou Feldman, the director of the Botanical Garden. We thought that was very nice and that you should all see it, that he will let us know when the brick is complete.
Okay.
Good. Thanks, Dorothy. That's perfect. That's great. Anything else, Dorothy?
When are we going to do the budget?
Let's talk about that at the board meeting.
Oh.
Okay.
No, we're up to the general membership has to okay the budget, which was attached to the to Robin's. Oh,
okay. So assuming that everyone read the attachments to last week's newsletter, is there any comment on the budget or any corrections that you want to make or questions? Otherwise, is there a motion to accept the budget as presented?
Yes.
A motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the budget as stated, as provided to us.
Thank you, Pam. And is there a second? Barbara says she's seconding. Okay, so Pam and Barbara, thank you. The budget is accepted and approved. Is that correct, Dorothy? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's go on to committee reports. Is Landry here? I'm not sure I saw Landry come in. All right, so we're going to do her later. Sarah, membership report. Can you say how many current members we have?
Yes, well, we currently have 99 members and 100, because I'm sure Betty Coates is here with us in spirit. And some of our newest members are Gillis McKenna, Ruth Michelle, Regina Gilligan, and Bernadette Garcia Roger.
Roger.
Oh, is it okay, Roger? Excuse me.
Thank
Well,
you. And I actually think all those people are here.
Betty?
Will those people say hi so we can see you?
Okay, good.
Thank you, Sarah. So Regina is here.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Oh, Regina. So this is Regina Gilligan, a neighbor of mine, and we welcome you to the club, Regina. I wish we could all meet in person, but welcome to the meeting. And Bernadette, say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, good job. Bernadette, another neighbor of mine, and very happy to have you both. And thank you for coming today. And then Gillis and Ruth are here from Oxford, England.
We're here from England, yeah.
Some of us met them last month, and we're really glad that you could come today on Zoom. That's excellent. It's wonderful to have new members at such a strange time. And then Mark Barrett is here also, our Sundar Shadi winner.
Hello there. Hello.
There's Mark.
Okay.
So Mark is the one from Carquinez Avenue, and Monica and Ricky from Pomona were on, but they've left a note saying they had trouble with their connection. And so their note to us says, we just want to thank you all for our Sundar Shadi Award and let you know how we appreciated all of the judges giving their time to look at our garden. So that's so nice. And I don't think Bibo and Tom Turman are here. I don't see them. Okay, good. Well, I'm really thrilled to have some of the Shadi people here and so many new members. Great. Okay, let's maybe we should, since Gillis and Ruth have to leave early, Roberta, what do you think about going on to your presentation, and then we'll do the rest of the committee reports and
Yes.
Okay, I hope that's okay with everybody. We're going to do the other reports at the end, so we can go ahead and see Roberta's fantastic presentation. Again, Landry, I don't see Landry, so let me do the introduction that for the last several years, Roberta has been our star presenter of the Sundar Shadi Gardens and has in the past done personal interviews and many visits to each garden to get information and background. And this year was so challenging because of course she couldn't really be in the gardens personally or meet the people very well. And she's done a fantastic job of doing most of it virtually. So big thanks to Roberta, and we are ready for you. Thank you, Roberta.
Okay, am I on?
Yes, we see
Okay.
Mr. Shadi, our
Okay.
beautiful Mr. Shadi, there he is.
Okay, he was born in India, in an area that's now Pakistan, in 1921, and he actually studied at UC Berkeley, where he got a master's in subtropical botany, and then he couldn't get a job. So he went to work at a gas station and eventually owned it. When the El Cerrito Civic Center, what is it called, was being built, he donated $260,000 if they would include a history hall area that's about El Cerrito. He retired when he was 49, and of course, he was a very active man. So for many years, he made what looked like oriental carpets on the property next to his house on the Arlington just past Mosier. Used 17,000 to 19,000 flowers each time. He needed a winter activity. Actually, his wife decided he needed a winter activity. And so one year he put up a star at Christmas. And then he decided that he would make Bethlehem, even though he's a sheik, not a Christian. So he made 68 life-size figures over a 40-year period. He died when he was 102 years old. So the El Cerrito Garden Club has been involved in giving this award for 23 years. It's all been handled different ways, but this is what the present setup is. And there are nominations by members or people from the public or the gardeners themselves to be considered a winner. The garden has to be visible from the street or from the sidewalk. And of course, being El Cerrito, there's a committee that goes around through elimination process, and eventually 3 winners are chosen. So here's the first one on Julian Court by Tom and Bebo Turman. And here are pictures of it. It was built in 1958, mid-century modern. They moved in 2 years ago, and they are the 4th family to own it. It was filled, if you look on the right, with low juniper and grass in a slightly down slope. So obviously, the first problem was getting rid of the juniper, which is a massive undertaking. But that allowed them to have this vision of what they wanted to do. One of the things is they wanted the house to be more inviting to neighbors. So they had Brian White Designs come up with what was the design, and he's their son-in-law. This is their winning sign. And here they are at the ceremony at the house. That is Brian on the left, and of course, Louise Moyes, who was in charge of the competition this year, and Tom and Bebo Turman. So what they did, what he did is he added 3 cherry trees, flowering cherry trees here. And then in the back, he added 3 birch trees. They are natives. Let's see. And there's a drip system tied to a timer. So here we see some red salvia and yellow yarrow. There's also a lot of catmint, and these 3 plants are used throughout the garden, as well as grasses. They wanted public access to the neighbors, and so there's a pathway that goes into a small patio area. There's also these grasses which are constantly moving. There's a bench there, and here they are. Their desire was to have chats with their neighbors as they passed, and there's actually a second bench, which was used before the present situation, but they hope to be able to do that again. This shows the path going out to the sidewalk. There were also some large stones added for their grandson to play on. And there are little treasures here and there that are hidden within the garden. So here's the view from the front as you're walking out towards Potrero. You can see the repetition of the palette. And then this is what it looks like walking in from Potrero. They're about the second house in on Julian Court. Another winner is on Pomona. And I originally went to Ramona, which is the street before. Couldn't find a 122 or anything that looked like a winner. Monica and Ricky Paternos sent me this picture of their house. It was a cottage built in 1927. There were, they think, 2 previous owners. The front garden was one big, dry, weedy, empty rectangle. This picture is taken after they owned the house for about 3 years and they had rototilled it. Here the winners are. They're the only winners I got to meet in person. One day I stopped by to add some photography and they were there. These are some pictures that were taken by other members on the committee when it was going through the elimination process. So you can get an idea of the beautiful springtime coloration. They have rocks that outline the bed. There's also grass pathways that go through the garden, which makes it accessible to be able to work on it. Now, one of the biggest problems they have is turf wars between the 2 of them, between the flowers that she loves and the vegetables that he wants to grow. This is from the fountain looking out towards the street. You can see right here, flowers are winning. This is the first time that I was able to see the garden. And of course, stuff starts to die back the further you get into summer. I think this was in June. There is a homemade drip irrigation system and some areas are hand watered. And I think you can see the homeowners, Monica's love of color. Ricky has done some of the woodwork. So installed a beautiful gate and fence. And I'm not sure if one of them made the tiles that are decorate the front of the house. What they want to do in the future is to transition to more year-round perennials, less bulbs, and more space for Ricky's vegetables. This is a bench that's along the driveway, and I learned later there's vegetables along the driveway. I have to confess, I'm a flower person, succulent person, and not a vegetable person, so I didn't even see them. Here's a supervising bear that's part of the landscape. And here we are with their sign as one of the winners. And here's Louise with them at the award ceremony. Now I think back on the right, when you up by the house, you see a wire fence. I think there's vegetables back there, which of course I didn't even recognize. The third winner is on Carquinez, Morrison Brown, and Mark Barrett. And hopefully I've gotten these pictures correct. Morrison on the left and Mark on the right. This is what their house looked like when they bought it. It was built in 1942, and the previous owner was a gardener, Alice Bennett. So there was good soil, but a lot of overgrown. And what eventually happened is the picket fence gave out. So they decided that they needed to do something. And here is the solution. Wonderful in progress photos of how this garden hardscape was created. This is their friend who came up with their design. And of course, this was a big task. Now it's a matter of filling in the plants. And it is filled with gorgeous plants. A lot of them are Mediterranean natives and succulents. Of course, there's the infamous calla lily and jade plant, which most gardens in El Cerrito and Berkeley seem to have. Amazing amount of color. A lot of these plants actually bloom if you are viewing them at the correct time. Gorgeous textures, contrasts and shapes. There is a water system. Let me see, I wanted to read this because it's quite interesting. It's a drip and low volume auto RACHIO system that integrates with the weather station that's in the backyard, which consults the local weather sites to determine appropriate water scheduling. The mailbox was in all pictures that I saw of the house, the early ones. It's been repainted and perhaps rebuilt, but this is from when they bought the house that I can tell. Here's someone else who guards over the garden. And this is my favorite picture of their house with the amazing color and contrast and the plants, the whole thing. It's just a visual treat. They are wanting the, they're interested in, they love the terracing, and the simple materials in the hardscape to emphasize the plants. Here's their winter sign. And here we see Mark and Morrison during the ceremony, award ceremony. And here they are with Louise and David, the designer of the garden. There's also a bell there, which you might be able to see hanging from the tree, which provides a beautiful melody. This is a windy area, so I think it probably rings a lot of the time. And I think that's it. So now I need to just get out of here. Let me see what I need to do.
That was fantastic, Roberta. I loved seeing those. And Mark from Carquinez Avenue is here. If you want to say anything, Mark, we'd love to hear any remarks.
Well, it was a fun project that, you know, it started off as a replacement for a picket fence and it turned into a lot more, which I think is probably typical of most projects, right? But I remember one point I told David, you know, what the bricks we were going to use, and he said, "Oh, well, you'll need about 1,200 of those." And so I went to the Home Depot. They only had 300, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and buy all 300 that they had, and those were put on our lawn. Well, we didn't even need that many. So we actually ended up using all 300, but we really didn't need 1,200. So I was glad I didn't buy that ahead of time. But no, I'm just really thankful that you guys noticed us, because I mean, we really worked hard on making something really nice for the neighborhood. So, I don't have any questions. I don't know.
Well, Mark, I just want to comment that if this were normal times and we were all visiting each other and having real meetings, I know that you would invite more of the club members into your backyard, which the judges got to see. And
Yeah.
It is also really quite amazing, like a jungle, a sort of a private oasis back there.
Yeah, my cousin calls it let's see, coordinated chaos.
Well, it has quite a different feel from the front yard, and it was a real treat to be invited back there. And after all of this ridiculous, horrible year is over, I hope that we can be in touch with you guys and visit again.
Well, I think we'd like to have everyone over at some point. So when things are going so bad, that's my place to go. That's my happy place, just to get away from it all.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. And does anybody have any questions for Mark or for Roberta?
I had a question, Mark. Those silver round things that were in some of the beds in the front that had dots around the outside edge, what are those?
Okay, those are just little solar lights. So there's little accent lights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then the weather system, the ratio is what
Yes.
the weather the controller the controller is, and I have a weather station. I used to work for a company, Davis Instruments, that builds weather stations, and so it can, like, if it's raining, it will tell the system to not water. Or if it also actually, it calculates evapotranspiration rates, so it knows when to water. Or I can just say, just right now, say, Alexa, tell Ratio to water the front yard for 5 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, zone number 1 is running for 5 minutes.
So it just said, okay, zone number 1 is running now for 5 minutes.
Wow.
So right now my front yard is being watered for, I'm wasting 5 minutes of water.
That's an amazing system.
I'm a techie, so that's what I grew up with technology, and I was with IBM for 10 years, so that's kind of my thing.
So Pam has her hand raised.
I just want to say, in case we can ever have garden tours again, let's put Mark's house on the garden tour, the backyard, okay?
Yes, of course. So for Mark and for other new members, normally in the spring, we always have one of our meetings is garden tours of 3 members' gardens. And
Okay.
so, if by chance this coming spring we're safe to do that, you might be on our list.
We would love that. We would love that.
That would be so nice.
Yes.
Good.
So,
Sylvia,
yeah, Sylvia.
you have to unmute yourself, honey.
Here we go. Mark, would you please carefully tell us the name of the integrated drip and low system that you have? I'm very interested.
The bricks, the cement bricks, or
No, the watering system.
oh, the watering system. I'm sorry. So it's Ratio, RACHIO, and it's a controller, and it also hooks up to your internet, and so it uses Wi-Fi, and so then you can control it from your phone, or it has its own intelligence too. You can tie it to a weather station, or it'll go to your local weather reports.
Okay, so we can have our own local weather station in our yard.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and so the weather station that I use is Davis Instruments. It's actually and I feel like I'm trying to sell it because I used to work there, but it's a medium cost, and it lasts a long time. Most weather stations are not very weatherproof, which is kind of an odd thing. But the Davis equipment I've had sitting there for over 10 years out in the elements without having any problems.
Thank you. Our builder installed a weather station. It's a sensor. It senses when the garden needs water and what our temperatures are dictating to the water system. The landscaper that we had come in couldn't figure out how to set things in it, so he convinced me to change it. So I've lost my weather station and the original builder's plans for our yard, and I want to go back to it. And I think this rings a bell.
Yeah, this and it was relatively simple to set up. And if you need some help, I could probably point you in the right direction.
Thank you so much. I'll get back to you by mail. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So I think Vera might have her hand up.
Vera has a question.
Okay.
Mark, I go by your house every day and I nominated you. And now there is some work done on the lower part of the driveway. Are you working on that?
The lower part?
On your driveway, on the flat area of your driveway down to the next house down the hill, there's some new work.
Oh, no, that's our neighbors. That's our neighbor's driveway. The really long driveway is a neighbor. That's Crystal and Emmett, and they're working on it. And I've been sourcing some plants for them. You know, breaking off pieces and giving them plants. But they actually have a designer that they're working with.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's the rock. They're putting the rocks down there right now.
Yeah.
That's Crystal and Emmett. So maybe they might be a good candidate for next year. Who knows? Because they're really getting into it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome.
And I just put the links to the Ratio products and the Davis instruments in the chat box if anybody wants to get to the websites for them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. That's fantastic. Well, any other comments or questions for Mark, who might not stay with us for the business part of the meeting, but you certainly can. I hope you will. We're very interesting. We'll show our flower arrangements.
I'll stay one second.
Good. Well, Roberta, just thank you so much. And I think everybody can give you a good round of applause for your fantastic presentation, considering that you couldn't personally interview the people and the difficulties of visiting. I think that was a marvelous show.
Thank you.
And I loved seeing it. So, all right, maybe we can move back to the committee reports, if everybody is all right with that. I still don't see Landry present, so I'll just say that in November, as I hope you read in the newsletter, we're having a slightly different format of a meeting where we're going to all sign in to an outside class. And the class is about water-wise gardening. It's being given by Sustainable Solano, which is a fantastic organization in Solano County. And in the newsletter, Robin included the link to sign up for that. And we'll include it again in the next newsletter, but it's good to sign up in advance so they know how many people will be at the class. The class will start at 10:30, so probably we'll have a little bit of our meeting beforehand and then go into the class in the middle. I'm not sure exactly how it will work, but I think it will be worthwhile to see this class put on by Sustainable Solano. Several of us, Pam and I think Molly, have been at several of their classes in the past, and they do a fantastic job. So that's coming up in November. And in December, we're planning to have a sort of holiday traditions, our favorite holiday traditions melange. I'm not sure exactly what. So please think about your family or your own favorite holiday things and how you might be able to share some of that with us. We're going to have music from our own fabulous Mary Sharman, who always used to play the piano for us at the holiday party. She's going to play the piano from her home in Oakland. And so we've already got that arranged. So we can sing Christmas carols from our own office, comfort. And let's share recipes, whatever we think of for all the holidays that happen in December. So we'll be looking for ideas from the study groups, and anything you want to share that would be really festive. This year we could use some festivity, I think. So that would be really great. Sarah, back to you. I don't know if you want to say anything about the El Cerrito High School garden and what the progress has been lately on that. I know you now are allowed by the principal to have helpers come sometimes. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you have anything you want to say.
Always happy to talk about the school garden. Yeah, I got permission from the principal to have up to 8 students come on Friday mornings. They don't have Zoom classes on Friday, so, and they don't have they're not in class. So they come at 9:30 and we just do all kinds of different things. You know, weeding, maintenance, planting. We just planted 2 beds recently. One's got lettuce, chard, and beets, and a salad mix, spicy salad mix. And then we just planted one we couldn't meet last week because of the air quality, but week before we planted collard greens and carrots, kale, and onions. And the carrots germinated, so I'm delighted. And tomorrow I'm going to meet with the kids and we're going to talk about collecting and saving seeds. And then we also have a whole bunch of dry beans that we picked, but we haven't shelled them yet, so we're going to do that. There's a lot of things right now going to seed in the garden, so I think it's a good opportunity to collect and talk about that. Anyway, it's sort of the highlight of my week to meet with these wonderful students, and I think it's good for them too. So, and the garden's so large, we can socially distance and, you know, mask up and wash hands, and seems so far so good. And if anybody wants to come visit the garden sometime, just let me know. It's actually, I think, looking better than ever. So I'm really delighted with that.
That's so great, Sarah. I drove by it yesterday and it just looked lush. It was fantastic. So anybody who hasn't gone by to see it, it's Eureka, isn't it? That goes up that,
yes.
Right, just on the side of the parking lot of the high school. And it's really fantastic looking, really looks great. So thank you for all that work. And you know, you're kind of a committee of one from the Garden Club, but certainly other Garden Club members could join you, and that would be very nice, I think. So that would be good. I know some people are interested in helping you, so that would be super.
Well, I think when we get over the quarantine, you know, we used to have maybe like bi-monthly work parties, and where we did big projects, and that was always nice to get a big group of people to do something like spread fir bark mulch. You know, we've done a lot of sheet mulching, you know, different things like that. So everybody's always welcome.
That's great, Sarah. Thank you so much. And Clark, not to put you on the spot, but are you ready to tell us a little bit about the Penny Pines recipients from last month? And I just want to mention that I saw a note from the California Garden Clubs that the U.S. Forestry Services offices are all closed, both because of the pandemic and because of the fires, of course. And so they don't want to accept more Penny Pines donations right now. And I don't know if that affected the donations you made a month or two ago. I hope not.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay. I wanted to say to our club members that the executive committee met a couple of months ago and decided that they would like to present some awards. And at this point in time, I should like to tell you what they were. Each year, the Penny Pines program for our club collects coins and dollars and $5 bills, whoever wants to contribute them, as we pass by a box. And during that year, we were able to collect $410 from the club to present to the Forest Department and through the Penny Pines program. We are honoring 3 different groups, actually. One of them is the California Firefighters organization, or in memory or appreciation really of the extraordinary effort being made by literally thousands of people trying to save our forest places. At the same time, the healthcare workers are being honored also in the Mendocino Garden for being our first responders during this terrible epidemic that we're dealing with. Every year, we also identify a couple of members within the club that have worked hard through the years to make the club a successful, exciting place for all of us to participate. This year, we're recognizing Charles Daniels and Robin Mitchell for really wonderful concentration of energy and enthusiasm for gardening and making our garden program even more spectacular. Unfortunately for all of us, two of our members passed away, and so we are remembering them, Betty Coates and Christine Reed. I unfortunately have never met or did not, we're only new to the club. And so I've heard wonderful things about both people, and it is with sadness that we remember them, but at the same time, we are remembering them through this process of the Penny Pines program. I want to also say that we are only one of many garden clubs that are presenting to the Forest Service funds through the Penny Pines process. And so it's an exciting part of our participation in our environmental programs. And we appreciate the fact that some of you, or all of you, we hope, are saving some money each month in some little container to present to the club so that we can exceed the $400 that we did last year. And there's probably no more important time in the history of the United States Forest Service for this effort to happen. So we thank you for what you did during this last year, and we appreciate the fact that we can remember these people. All of these people or these groups will be acknowledged in the forest by virtue of a plaque that expresses our connection. So I don't know what else to say, Sarah or Martha. You know more about it than I do. You may add, or anyone else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clark. Yeah, Penny Pines couldn't be more important for reforestation right now and for the Forest Service. And I'll just comment that my brother and sister-in-law were just up in the Mendocino National Forest last week. And David told me that they had to drive 13 miles through burned areas before they got to an area that was not burned. And in that area, they found a huge Penny Pines sign with lots of little plaques on it. And he took a picture of it, which I forgot to share with you today, but I'll bring it up one
Oh,
meeting.
that's great. Thanks,
so he said, I think this is garden club related, and he sent me a picture. So that was super nice. So thank you for that. And certainly we love our Penny Pines program. Thanks, Clark. So Mark has just told me that he's he's gone out into his backyard and he's gonna just share a minute or two, a couple minutes of his iPad or phone showing us his backyard. So
hey.
a little special treat from Mark. So Mark, I think you'll have to unmute. You'll have to unmute and talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I flipped my camera around. Okay, so
okay,
so this is from my porch. So I came in, and this is the backyard. I'm going to zoom down here. There's like the bromeliads that are blooming. These are little matchstick bromeliads. They look like they're matchsticks on the ends, but they're kind of interesting. So if I come out and I'm going to try to walk slowly because I know sometimes it doesn't go smoothly. We've got off of one of the bedrooms. You come off into the garden, and then I'm just going to slowly move across here. And then and there's some maintenance going on, so some things are in the way. But I've got some new plantings of new. I don't know what to expect. I hope this is coming through.
Yes, it looks
so we've
wonderful.
got a bench area, water features that we have going to down. And then this is back toward the house. And there's just the second level. We added this level. And then I guess you can still see.
Yeah.
And then, so a lower. But then kind of an idea, this is as you come in from the bottom level, there's a path. And then you're going to see all my 8 bags of things that I've taken out recently. But we've got these dahlias here were from the original owner. Those were already here, but everything else here pretty much is stuff that we've put in. The lemon tree was here as well. And so I don't want to show you my trash, but we'll go back this direction. So this is kind of the canopy as you come in.
So lush. Oh, I think Mark is having some reception problems. He's frozen. That happens in the backyard sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've lost you.
It's like a fight over the territory.
Yeah, Mark.
Okay, so that's.
Yeah, we're getting it. Yeah, I think it's your Wi-Fi. It's not quite strong enough to continue. But
okay.
That it's
all
really right. So. There's so many plants back there. It's really a jungle. Yeah.
Let me flip it around. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, that was a quick run through, but hopefully we can have you guys over at some point.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mark. That's really nice. And I'll just say to people that there's also a wonderful little water garden. It's a very interesting garden. So we're thrilled to have you, Mark. It's really exciting. So thank you so much for that. Norma, did you want to talk about the plant table or any plants this month? Is Norma here?
Yeah, I'm here. I had done.
Oh, here she is. Hi, babes.
Hi. I could talk about what's happening in my garden.
You certainly can if you want. A plant table report.
Yeah, right. I have some things out of season happening. One of them is I have an agave plant that has decided to put up a stem, which normally they bloom a couple, 3 months ago. And so I'm excited. I like those nice orange flowers. And I also noticed under one of my roses, I have some paper white narcissus blooming. That is only a little bit early because they do bloom in the fall around here, not in spring. And let me show you what alfalfa will do for your roses. This is alfalfa pellets.
Wow.
These were not blooming very much a month ago. But Gary said, oh, they need some alfalfa pellets. And he went out there and put some underneath them and you water them in. And that just frees up all kinds of nutrients that's in the soil. So I wanted to share that. Gorgeous. Not much going on with the vegetables right now. Not many more oranges. I have apples and I have squash because the squash are still blooming. So I keep telling them more flowers, please. And everything else is slowing down. And including me. So I just thought I'd toss that out there. I know everybody has what's going on in their yard also. Just that I knew you had me on there because I saw it on the agenda. So,
Well, thank you. And those roses are spectacular.
hey, they smell good too.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Any other committee wanted to make a report, or we'll move on to the study groups quickly? Pam, unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, I jumped the gun there.
Yes, you're a
Go
study
ahead.
group. Okay. Okay, so study groups. Kate, would you like to say something about the flowers group? Be sure to unmute yourself. Unmute.
Hi, everyone. The flower group is meeting again. It's the third Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. We're currently meeting at my house outside with social distancing, and everyone is required to wear a mask. And we're not doing food or drinks, just to make it simple. But we talk about everything flowers. And last meeting went well. We had about 6 people. And we talked about fragrant plants and what does well in the fall and California natives. And Martha and I and Jean also went to a California native nursery. If people haven't gone, in Point Richmond, it's Watershed Nursery, a little bit different, but a good selection of California natives. So everyone is welcome and would love to have people come. And we're just going to continue with it as long as weather allows and people have an interest. So please do join us. Thank you.
Good. And did you mention it's 10 a.m.?
Yes,
on the
10
third
a.m.
Wednesday at your house? Great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. And Pam, would you like to say something about the edibles study group?
Sure. So we have an edible study group that focuses on vegetables, of course. And we have a couple new members. Bernadette, who is a new member to the club, joined. She tells me that she's been gardening for a couple years in her backyard with vegetables. And then also Robin asked to join in. So we all know Robin. She's a grower par excellence. We have a small group, but we're a determined group. So it's fall and winter gardening. And Charles reported that in his backyard or in his garden, he's growing beets, lettuce, collards, artichokes, Swiss chard, and that he will soon plant garlic, onions, cabbage, and other cool season plants. And since we're doing my garden reports, yeah, I have still tons of lemons coming out all the time, a few grapefruit. I took some pear recently, which are wonderful. I'm growing vegetables in my garden, and the thing that I have discovered lately is turnips. So I never ate turnips just as a vegetable. I planted them to go in soups and stews kind of thing. And I love them. They're great. They grow very well. They grow easily. They're an attractive plant, you know, if you wanted to just sneak them into your flower bed. And they taste great, especially when you just dig them up and eat them. And I want to mention a movie that I watched last night. It's going around. It's very popular. It's called Kiss the Ground. And it emphasizes the importance of soil in a positive contribution to climate change. All right, the use of soil and planting to sequester carbon from the air into the soil, which is where it belongs. So it's on Netflix. You can also look it up on the internet because it's free. It's offered free as well. So I encourage you to do that. It's very impactful, but it's also very positive. So if you have an interest in growing vegetables and getting together with other people who do, please get in touch and we'll include you.
Robin just put the link to Kiss the Ground in the chat. If anybody wants to watch it on the internet, as Pam suggested.
I have a question for Pam.
Yes.
Pam, do you ever have any of the little flies get in your turnips? The fly worms?
You know, I didn't this year, but you know how things go. If you, second year, once the insect community knows that you're growing something, they can get better at showing up. Is it, I'm sorry, tell me more about what it is.
Oh, I don't have them, but I had them in the past. That's why I don't grow them. They
Uh-huh.
are larvae of some kind that gets into the turnips, and they tunnel in them. And they ruin them.
Ah, like carrots. There's one that does that with carrots too. Yeah, interesting. No, I haven't. You know, in terms of what to do about them, of course, you want to get rid of the larvae and, you know, maybe insecticide soaps and that kind of thing might help. But the other thing to watch that's real important is the time of year, I think, when you plant, using netting to keep them out, because I'm sure there are butterflies or something. Yeah.
They're too small to be butterflies or moths. They've got to be some kind of fly or something because they're so small.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam. And Robin has put in the chat to everyone that, you know, for general pest control, plant lots of flowers that attract the beneficial insects that then might eat the bad guys. So that's a good lesson for all of us. Thanks, Robin. And Anna, I believe, would like to show us some things from the succulent group, if that is still on your mind, Anna.
Yes, I'm going to share the screen again. I have another little slideshow, hopefully.
The succulent group is always so active, even though they can't meet, they're just succulenting away.
Okay, I can't.
So you're going to hit share screen and then find your thing. Good, okay.
All right, but I can't get.
So you need to find your slideshow.
There it is.
Very good.
Well, it's not there yet.
Yes, it is. We see it. Fantastic.
Okay, so the the succulent group hasn't really been meeting except by email, and by at home we almost had set up a safe distance meeting at Flada's, but at the last minute, and since there were only 3 of us, we kind of canceled it. We had gotten a suggestion from Marianne that we should be doing our pumpkins about now to share, and I do have some pumpkins to show. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up my own pumpkins until late last night, so I don't have mine, but I do have some others. And people have been sending me pictures either from their garden or some of the projects they've been working on. So I will start out. Cece Nguyen, who does some gorgeous arrangements and stuff, has been growing orchid cactus. And first I have to share this because I got this from one of the other volunteers at the Botanic Garden, and I just love it. And I think all of us can relate that we always want all the plants, even if we don't know where we're going to put them. I put this on our Facebook page, and I'm in the process of just sending this to everyone I know who loves plants, because you can never have enough plants, I think. So onto Cece's cactus, orchid cactus. She sent me several pictures that are just, I don't think they bloom. I don't have any of these. They don't bloom very long, but when they do bloom, they are just spectacular. So these are more of them. And then one more from her. And then, as promised, some things from Flada's garden. Flada, if people have been to her home, know that she has all these wonderful little characters in her garden. There's just hardly ever a space that doesn't have something in it that she's grown and made a design on, and she just does such a gorgeous job of them. So I got these photos, and then she did the first pumpkin. So, and I figured this went for autumn colors for this month, since it's a very lovely one. And then Tanya, who is our other person who does the gorgeous arrangements and has brought so many wonderful suggestions. So we have it's a combination of some arrangements, a few pumpkin, oh no, Marianne. I got Marianne's first. She has 3 pumpkins that are really very nicely done. I've got some of them on close up, and then one photo of all 3 of them together. And then the last little one there that's waiting, Marianne, as soon as you can get that one decorated. And then on to Tanya. Tanya sent me several things that, let me see. Okay, so she's got a pumpkin, of course, and then this beautiful wreath of all this things that she grows in her yard. And a lot of us got to go to Tanya's backyard, which was really wonderful. And I have been getting, she's given away so many cuttings this year for people. And this one is my personal favorite. I love her little character in there. And then she sent me some butterflies. She got this gorgeous picture of the fritillary. So I decided to include my passion vine. This one is called Einsford Gem. I got this from the Botanic Garden, and I'm in the process of growing more of these. I've got one plant that has now covered my almost entire fence. And if you look closely, you can see a little bee. And then I've discovered that the butterflies are all over it. The fritillary are just gorgeous. They're all over it. And it also attracts hummingbirds. So it just all the pollinators come in and they're on it. And I just spend hours. I don't mind washing dishes because I can see all this from my kitchen window, and just love when pollinators come to my garden. And she also has a beautiful picture of the swallowtail butterfly. And I think this is from her, pipe vine plant vine. And then this, and I think Martha, you may have gotten this also. This is her autumn bouquet. It's not, I couldn't make it any larger, so you may have a better picture of it. These are from wild lunaria and poppy pods that she sprayed gold. And then she cuts the seed pods, ties them together, puts them in a paper bag so that then the seed catches all in the bag, and then she uses them for her decorations. So this is it from the succulent group. I think people are continuing with the pumpkins, so we'll have more of them next time. And I believe, yeah, that is it for me.
Oh, that is great. Yes, I do have that same photo from Tanya, and maybe I'll go right into the sharing, since we're already watching slideshows of the different photos that people have sent to me for the autumn theme. As most of you know, Barbara's Floral Design Group, normally we bring lots of arrangements to the club meetings, and we're just continuing that with anyone who wants to share on online, either with, as Anna did, showing her own slideshow, or you can send them to me and I will show them. So these are the things that I've gotten from people that I hope I can share easily with you. Let's see, let's go to this and present. Good. Oh, yes, well, that's we're not sharing that necessarily. Let's see. Okay, so this is these are arrangements sent to me by Cece. She was the signed up flower arranger for the month, and she's been very good about honoring that commitment. So I loved this autumn display from Cece, who I wish was here with us today. Chrysanthemums and her beautiful gourds. And then this was sent to me by Catherine Frost. And please notice that this is a real caterpillar, a live caterpillar, and a real butterfly. So that was very exciting to get that arrangement. Oh, and here's another caterpillar down here. I didn't see it before. There probably are more that I can't see. Looks like lantana, maybe. I'm not sure about those flowers. Lantana, maybe. And then this I got from England, from Gillis and Ruth. So these are from Gillis's Oxford garden. They're there in England just closing up their Oxford house. And he picked this, and I wish he was here to tell us everything. Those are dahlias, and there are fuchsias and ferns, and I think sedum. But I was hoping he would stay long enough to tell us what the rest of them were. It's quite an interesting arrangement. And this is another photo of the same thing. So he likes those single petal dahlias, or simple dahlias, whatever they're called. And I'm sure we'll tell us more about those at future meetings. Here's Tanya's arrangement with the lunaria and the gold poppy pods, very elegant looking, I think, for an autumn dinner party or something. Very beautiful. And this is from Bernadette. I love this. And Bernadette, I'm not sure exactly what all these things are. If you want to comment, I see pineapple sage, I think, and mint, and alstroemeria, and iris. What else is in there, dear?
The purple here is from some green bush that gives me purple flowers. I don't know the name of it.
Nice.
It's green grass. It gets full and these come out. And then there's some little white, I think, daisies that are, you know, really tiny and a little flower. I don't know names.
Mm-hmm.
I just like color and flowers that bloom on things that don't always think are going to get a bloom.
Well, it's beautiful. And maybe those are lupin or larkspur. I can't tell from here. So we'll have to identify those.
They're about this long.
Okay.
And they come out of a green grass plant. And
grass plant.
And my, what do you call them? Stick bugs live in the green grass plant.
Oh, stick insects. Great. Good. Well, I love it. And I love your little Halloween creatures. Very sweet. Thank you for doing that. This one is from Marilyn Joyce. She took this in her backyard, and I think a really interesting combination. Obviously lamb's ears, succulent flowers, hens and chickens. I think this looks like kale or collard greens, and then geraniums, rosemary, a really rich bouquet of vegetables and succulents and flowers. And this is another from Marilyn Joyce, kind of similar, but this one has pink naked ladies, which really add a nice color, I think. So thank you for sending those, Marilyn. Those are gorgeous. These are from Laura, who couldn't be here today, Laura Brainan Rodriguez. And she told me that this was 3 different kinds of leucadendron. She didn't know the names of them all, but a very interesting shape and design, I think, and different colors. And this one is also from her, the green hydrangeas and castor bean plant, she said. So I guess these are the castor bean leaves, and I guess these are the castor beans over here. Very unusual. So I wish she could be with us. She has work on Thursdays and can't come. This is my attempt at Barbara's theme, and this is a mixture from my garden and Louise's garden. So these are Louise's gorgeous apricot colored roses and Louise's dried red hydrangeas. And this is, I think, New Zealand flax, this funny black thing from Louise's garden. And then the pistache berries, Chinese pistache, is from my garden, and the pineapple sage. And these are my persimmons, the first year I've had persimmons, so I'm very excited. So that's mine. And these are from Katie, the beer can gardens. I think these are so clever. So she's making these little succulent gardens out of beer cans, and she's added these nice seasonal touches. And of course, the cans themselves are seasonal as well for Halloween and Day of the Dead. So those are really fun ones. So I'm happy Katie sent me those. And I bought some of Katie's beer cans, and they're pretty cute and have made some nice gifts. Oh, and so that's it for our sharing of photos. So Barbara, would you like to say something about the herb group? And then we're almost finished. Thank you for hanging in, everybody. We're doing great.
What a group. Really amazing. We started the floral design group in 1997. And Catherine Frost has been in it from the beginning. And she is having a fractured pelvis, and so she's being in rehab at her daughter's house, and she did that there. Her daughter raises the monarchs. I can't think of the name of the plant, but anyway, she has them, she brings them in the house, and she takes care of them, and then they bring them out again, so it's a family operation. But it was really nice that Catherine could do that. She's just out of a wheelchair. She's getting around with a walker and different things, so that goes way back. The herb group, Marion Kent is going to do the November talk for our herb group, and it's going to be about different kinds of rice. Because we aren't cooking this time, we are getting into some more detailed things that we use. We had Fong Lee this past month did a fabulous program for us on honeybees and the, what am I want to say? Well, it was very good. She's a bee, she raises bees. She's going to have a new hive set up this year because she couldn't do it last year. I don't know if she had a disease with her bees or not, but anyway, she's setting up again. And her honey that she gets, she doesn't get a whole lot, but it's really wonderful. I wanted to thank Ruth and Gillies for their flowers from England. That fern plant was very unusual, so I'd like to talk to them sometime and see what different kind. I love ferns, and it was a very structural fern, I would call it. Very, very beautiful. And then there were some leaves in hers that had a very soft color, and I don't know if they were dried or fresh, but they were unusual. And let's see, for the floral design, really wonderful design. I have something here. I did not photo it yet, but I will show it to you in a minute. It's using leaves from my seedless Thompson grapes. I don't get to get the grapes because the birds always beat me to it, and it's not prolific. And it makes a wonderful fall foliage. So I don't care about the grapes. I love the fall foliage, which you'll see. And then I planted for my husband 5 different coleus plants, and they're starting to go to seed, and the hummers are very happy because I don't have a lot of flowers right now. just the perpetual fragrant geraniums that they go to all day long and all the evening. I think that's their favorite. Thanks for the hint about the alfalfa. I forgot about that, and my roses really need some help. Next month for the floral design, I think a good subject would be abundance for November. And go with it, with that, whatever you think of. You're all very creative. You might think of a cornucopia, but it might go to other things first. The herb group, I'm bouncing around. The herb group is the oldest study group, I think, in the club. And I believe it's from the 1950s or at least the 60s. And it's been meeting ever since then with all kinds of different people coming in and out. And I saw Anne Morales there. Hi, Anne. And she was one of the first people I met in the garden club at the herb group. She and her husband used to do a end of the year picnic where I don't remember, was it turkey? Yeah. So I started out in the club with that beginning, and it was wonderful. Oh, one thing I jump around a lot. The California Garden Club belongs to the largest volunteer group in the world. So the garden clubs, the National Garden Club and the Pacific and all the others, you're all volunteers, and it shows, doesn't it? We have such enthusiasm. It's wonderful. I'll just show my plant. This is in it's going to be very hard to show. I'll get a picture out for next time. It's in a metal container that was a gift to me from Bonnie Smith. And it has lovely movable parts with magnets. So I can move this up and down. This little attachment holds water, as does this one. And here are the leaves that I told you about. I cut them on Monday, and I was afraid they were going to dry out. So I've been soaking them in water every day at the sink. And for height, and here I have my favorite oregano stems that are purple. And I think they fit in very nicely, give the design some height. And then these are 3 of my coleus plants. They all look alike, but they're 3 different varieties. You have to look close. I had 5 different varieties of coleus. Not the typical look, but this is what I could buy this year. And the most typical coleus, as you know, has green and red around it. I do have that one too. But it's a nice plant because it really does well without a lot of attention. And of course, the oregano, the bees and the birds all go for it. They go for the seeds too. So thank you all.
That's fantastic, Barbara. And don't you want to mention something about your flower arranging supplies, vases, and books?
I was avoiding it, but yes. For all of those of you who know, I've collected flower arranging books. Being a flower show judge, I have all kinds of flower show books and flower raising and herb raising. And I would like to give them to the garden club. I'd like the members to come and pick out what they want. If I had a day in mind, I could maybe get someone to carry the books out for me so you wouldn't have to come in. Anybody should want to show a hand of interest in books? Free books?
Okay, Carrie has her hand up, and okay. Yeah, so I think maybe you could arrange appointments with people by email or phone, and people.
I would love to, because I have tons of books, and I have to clear the room out because my daughter is moving here from Massachusetts, December 1st, and I need the space. I've enjoyed it for many years since I moved here 20 some years ago, and now it's time to give up my space. Hope you will all share in it. It's got great books.
Well, not only your books, but don't you also have flower arranging supplies?
Yes, I do have some, Martha. I have a lot of vases, all kinds of things, vases and materials, a lot of glass vases that are not necessarily for arranging flowers, but for just displaying. And they're all going to go. And I don't want to just donate them to strangers. I'd like to donate them to all of you.
Yeah.
Email me if you're interested and we'll set something up.
Excellent. Very good. Good. Well, I think we've come to the end of our reports, and I'm so thrilled to see. I see quite a few people here that I haven't seen at other meetings. Anne Morales, you and I have corresponded, but I've never seen you before, so I'm so happy to meet you. And Lisa is on her new iPad, and Gloria is here. We haven't seen her for months and months. It's just so nice to see so many people that I haven't seen lately. And just big welcome to everybody. It's wonderful. Oh, Eileen, yes, wonderful, wonderful. And M&M, are you Malari? Who's M&M? I don't know who that is.
Yes.
Oh, Malari. Okay, good. So Malari is
Mallory.
Mallory. I'm sorry.
Yes.
There you
that's okay.
go. Mallory.
Yes.
Mallory is here, and it's wonderful to see you all. So, does anyone have any announcements or other comments they want to make? This is kind of the free-for-all part of the meeting. Bernadette.
My question is, does anyone have any resources for setting up a community garden? Anywhere I can go and reach out, who's done it, like in a neighborhood or anything like that? Because I have a neighbor who's interested in their front yard being available to our neighborhood for gardening, preferably vegetables or whatever, but I need to find resources on how to fund it, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, we actually have a community garden expert here, Robin.
Yay.
Robin Mitchell might have something to say about that.
If she wants to do it offline, we can do that, so we're not taking up time, but.
Yeah, so Bernadette, this is Robin. Why don't you email me? It's ecommunitygarden@gmail.com.
Okay.
And it's in the newsletter too.
And it's in your yearbook, Bernadette, under Robin Mitchell. Mm-hmm.
Okay, EC Community Garden?
Yep.
That's easy to remember.
At Gmail, yeah.
Okay, at gmail.com. Okay,
yep.
All right. And I think there was something else, but I can't remember what it was. There were two things. That's it, as I can remember for now. If I remember, I'll raise my hand. Thank you, Robin.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Bonnie McKenzie, hi, good morning.
Hi, I was just wondering what you plan to do with the recording of the meeting.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, right, okay.
I guess if somebody wanted to, we'll keep it for a little while. I have recorded some other kinds of meetings in the past, and then it uses up space. So I don't know is the answer. Robin, do you have an idea about that? I mean, we'll keep it.
Yeah, there's potentially things we could do with it. We could put it on some server someplace so that we could link to it.
Could we put it on our website?
It depends. I don't know how the website's set up. I don't know how much space there is on it, but anything like that, we could do something like that with it.
Okay.
Dorothy has a suggestion.
Dorothy. Oh, I bet Dorothy is going to say put it on box.com.
So Dorothy, could you repeat that? You were muted.
Sorry. Could we put it in box?
Yeah, you can. They're usually pretty big and people can't really get to it very easily that way, but we could potentially store it there and then maybe link to it from there or something like that. So we can try to figure out some option like that. Yeah.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thanks.
I just think that the program was really, really good today. And I hate for, I'd love to see it propagated, excuse the pen, in some way.
Okay, well, we'll try to put it in box and see how that works. And Good. Because it uses up so much space, it's hard to keep it, on an individual's account or anything, but Box might be able to hold it. Dorothy?
Does the California Garden Clubs, do they have a project to help clubs get through this pandemic? And if so, no, they should.
Well, really what they're doing is they're asking the clubs to tell them about what projects they're doing. And then of course the president of California Garden Clubs has her President's Project of the Year, whatever it is it something in Southern California or something I've forgotten, but all of that is on their website. So yeah.
But that would be a way of helping other groups in the state by showing them what we've done.
Well, on their websites, they are putting different clubs' newsletters, different clubs' ideas are all showing up on their website now as ideas. And for example, that's why our Sundar Shadi video is now on their Facebook page, because they're showing, oh, see, this is what El Cerrito is doing.
Good.
So yeah, that's good. And about that, I did create an El Cerrito Garden Club Facebook page. It doesn't have very much on it yet, but any of you who use Facebook, if you want to look for it, you can add things to it. I haven't really made it private, so it's open to the public, but we could talk more about that later. But I just thought of it as a way we could share projects, share photos, share funny jokes about gardens, nothing private. It's a public page.
So Roberta's presentation is already on the California Garden Club.
No, it's not Roberta's. It's a little video that I made during the summer. Really nothing to do with Roberta's wonderful presentation, but just something I was experimenting with iMovie, and I took all the photos that I had taken at the gardens and just made a little video. And then when the El Cerrito City Council needed a presentation kind of at the last minute, I just showed it there. So that's what's on the Facebook page.
Actually, what I was thinking was that, and I wasn't specific enough, that not our whole meeting, but Roberta's presentation would be something that could be propagated because it was so interesting that we actually did that. I mean, it was so well done, and I'd love to see more people be able to take advantage of it.
So what we could do, this is Robin, it takes some editing. Someone would have to edit the recording down to just have the presentation, but it's doable. And then it could be put up on the Facebook page. I mean, you can actually, stream your Zoom meetings on Facebook Live if you want to, and we could probably, put a recording on the Facebook page. So we can explore those ideas. Martha and I can talk about that and see if we can figure out the logistics of it. Yeah.
Oops. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah,
no,
that's wonderful.
I agree. I think there might be some privacy issues about having the addresses and names of the winners on something like Facebook. But if it's okay with them, or they could be on our website, but we could talk about it. But, Bonnie, that's a good idea.
We could start by trying to edit the meeting down to at least extract the presentation and then decide what to do with it. And we could actually potentially, edit out the addresses somehow too.
Yeah, or have the addresses. I mean, the addresses are in the city council meeting notes and everything.
Yeah, it's true.
So it kind of depends on the owners. If they care about if they're on Facebook or not.
Yeah, we can check with them.
We certainly could put it into our listserv, which I think not very many people know about yet, but I have created a totally private, only to our members group where we could post things. And
so what platform did you set it up on?
I'm using IO groups. Just like Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's, El Cerrito Garden Club at IO groups or something. I've forgotten what I called it, but I can send people the link of that, or maybe we'll put that in the
We should put that in the next newsletter. Yeah.
I was keeping it to a small judging committee at first to see if people liked it. But yeah, so that would be private, Bonnie Mac. And so, you know, someplace like that, that would only be our members. To me, that would be a very easy place to put anything private, you know, with any privacy issues.
So there's lots of options and we can explore them.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because I agree. Roberta's presentation was spectacular. Thank you, Roberta. I hope you're still here blushing. Barbara.
This takes me back to how you began the meeting. We need to have an awards group, because there must be an award listed in those many pages that you could look at online for this kind of a program. And it could be either with the district or the region or the California Garden Clubs or national. So if we had someone who would like to work on that, sounds like we have some very talented and intelligent people who can do all these things. I commend you.
Thanks, Barbara. I meant to make more of a pitch for that, and I so much appreciate that you mentioned it. We do need an awards committee. There are dozens, I don't know, maybe hundreds of grants and awards that are going unclaimed every year. And garden clubs just need to apply for them, and we might very well win. Who knows? Sylvia was mentioning that she used to try for the award for the best yearbook, you know, and our little yearbook is pretty cute and, you know, could win some year, but we haven't got a committee right now that's applying for these different things. So if anybody, you know, has some spare time during the lockdown, you know, here we are, not much to do, and wants to be on a committee, I would say a few people could be looking at these awards and think, oh my gosh, we should nominate Roberta for that award or whatever it is, you know. So if you're interested in some committee work, I'm sorry, Barbara.
Lisa.
Lisa what?
She has her hand up.
Oh, Lisa.
She wants to be on the committee.
Lisa, are you volunteering? Good. All right. Well, Lisa can be the chairwoman and anyone else can join. I think it'd be wonderful. There are pages and pages and pages of awards every year. And some of them have a little money and some of them are just the honor, you know.
Martha.
Hi, Mom.
Martha,
Hi.
you say you just show the yearbook. Is that the new one for this year?
Yes, and we're distributing it and we've gotten about half of them distributed so far.
Oh, should I come to your place to get it, or you smell it?
You can come to my place, or I
save some, you know. Yeah, I'll call you. Okay, let's save some mailing.
Oh,
I didn't know we have that.
I'm not mailing very many of them. We've given out about 45 or so far by hand delivering them.
Okay, I'll call you before I come.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that will save me a trip.
Right.
Thank you. And if the rest of you, if you haven't gotten yours yet, you are on a list to either get it set on your doorstep or have it be mailed, one or the other. So it's on its way. It's on its way. All right. Other thoughts? Other comments? Everybody?
Lisa has her hand up.
Lisa?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Did I sign up for something? I didn't mean to. If I did.
Yes, you had your hand up and we made you the chairwoman of the new
I have
committee.
a new iPad and I was fiddling with my volume. I'm sorry, I apologize. This is my first time doing this on my iPad ever. So it was a mistake.
Oh,
I apologize. I was fiddling with the button that's right above my eye there. And the button doesn't seem to be working for some reason. I'm sorry, I apologize.
So you've quit the committee work already. Oh,
yes, I'm sorry.
Well, please think about it, you guys. I mean, it would be research. It would be as little or as much work as you wanted to do. We need a committee doing that because we're wasting, you know, all that prize, honor, and possibly money is all going to waste.
So Pam has her hand up.
Pam?
Do you need help delivering yearbooks?
I have had some help, thank you. And I think I think we're good.
Okay.
But thank you so much. Thanks. Bernadette, unmute yourself.
Okay, so I remembered the second thing. So in our neighborhood, we're getting ready to have a sidewalk chalk extravaganza and wanted to put it out to the club to see if maybe they want to do their little plant sale again. I don't know, but it's happening on Saturday, October 24th. And it's kind of just for our neighborhood. So I don't know if we should be inviting other people from the other neighborhoods to come in, but you're more than welcome to, but I don't know. So Martha, I don't know how you want to feel about doing another little plant sale or not, or if that's even possible in the next, what, 10 days? Less than
Yeah.
10?
So
anyway,
yeah,
put that out there.
Okay. I don't know if we have plants propagated necessarily, but certainly anybody who wanted to sell anything on that day maybe could contact me. I know Katie is planning to have her beer can gardens available that day, and I don't know if anybody else has a bunch of stuff propagated, they could let me know. But I don't think we'll have an official sale. But thanks, Bernadette. That's good to know. And any other announcements, comments, requests, questions, problems? Happy news from anyone? No? So shall we end the meeting? Are we good? I'm so happy to see you all, and you know, please let me know by email or phone if I've skipped something or forgotten something, or you think of something later. And think about the joy you would have if you were on the awards committee. And let me know your thoughts about that. Good. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll call it a day unless you have more to say. All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for sending your photos, and thanks